On Saturday, October 11th, the heavyweight division was front and center stage from Sheffield, England, as we had a chance to see the showdown that took place between Dave Allen and Arslanbek Makhmudov. These two men headlined a card that had plenty of action, but it turned to be an exhausting affair as these two plotters faced off. Let's talk about what transpired in this match and what it could mean for the victor's future. The heavyweight division. It often is said, as so go the heavyweights, go the rest of the sport. And we had a chance to witness that on Saturday, October 11th, when Dave Allen took on Arslanbek Makhmudov. These two men had a fight that was not only intriguing, but entertaining, because they are definitely not the top tier of heavyweights in the division. However, with their stories and bylines, both men entered this match where there were questions that needed to be answered. And when you take into consideration how it went for both, not only was it an entertaining affair, but we got a chance to see exactly whom has worked at the craft. In the case of Dave Allen, he came in hot off of a TKO victory back in May of this year against Johnny Fisher, a rematch of a December 2024 fight that saw him lose a split decision when he should have really gotten the victory. In the case of Makhmudov, his June battle this year against Ricardo Brown was a bounce back win because in August of 2024, he suffered a 7th round stoppage to Guido Vianello. So both men had something to prove. Allen selected this fight as he thought Makhmudov would be a fighter whom he could at least have a chance to battle with, because Arslanbek is not a mover. He's not a guy that's going to be trying to use angles, and he's overall going to give you an effort that will more than likely give Dave Allen the opportunity to punch back. Sporting a 3-inch height advantage at 6'6", Makhmudov is definitely a plotter and 267 or 68 pounds. Dave, at 6'3", was nearly the same weight, off by just a couple of pounds. But what was a surprising factor for him was Makhmudov keeping him at the end of his punches. That's right, Arslanbek boxed Dave. He didn't just go in there haphazard, as he has been known to be a physical specimen, running after his opponents and looking to pound them into submission. His losses against Vianello and Ajit Kabiel have taught him to be a bit more cautious, and that's exactly what he was doing. he was trying to maintain using ring IQ in this match, and it worked out well for him, as his record now is 21-2 with 19 KOs. You see, he has never been noted as a quality boxer, but an oversized bruiser, going in, pounding his subjects into submission and wearing them down with his physicality. But amazingly, he was in this fight and he was using a jab, albeit a pawing jab. And he was also using the straight rights and peppering Allen, keeping him within a distance where he could hit Allen and Allen couldn't hit him back. And so that saw Allen, whose only chance was really on the inside, look to wing his hooks and looping shots that he is noted for. The body shots were effective, but he wasn't disciplined enough to stay with the body shots. Arslanbek was catching some shots on the gloves, but the body work, particularly in the middle rounds, were effective enough that Arslanbek at one point seemed to be teetering. But the conditioning of Allen was such that he couldn't maintain the onslaught. Now that was terrible. And so as he ends this fight, his record drops to 24-8 with 2 draws and 19 KOs. You see, he was looking for an opportunity to fight one of the maybe fading heavyweights in the future. So he handpicked Madrimov for this bout. But if you don't get in condition, you can find yourself being the one that is looking for assistance. And it didn't help that during the fight, we had a chance to see 2 points deducted from Madrimov in the 7th and 12th rounds for repeated holding. But he still won by margins of 117 to 109, 116 to 110, and 115 to 111. Interesting, because Allen was just not busy enough. He wasn't letting his hands go. And part of that could have been due to the fact that Madrimov's size and strength was overbearing. He did have a moment in between rounds where he was in the corner and he told his cornerman, "That guy is strong." And so that was something to deal with. But again, getting in proper condition, you would be ready for that strength and to have something in the reserve to face the later rounds of the fight. Arslanbek stopped a lot of Dave's momentum by holding. The excessive holding that he had a point drawn away from him twice let us know that he has learned from his previous losses. You know, as I stated, against the likes of Ajit Cabiel and Guido Vianello. One thing he ran into in those bouts was not being able to tie his opponent up. And so he suffered as a result by getting KO'd and stopped by withering to the canvas after an onslaught of body shots and shots to the head in both occasions. So this fighter, Arslanbek, who's 36 years of age, and you know they say you can't teach an old dog new tricks. That doesn't apply to this gentleman because he learned how to hold. Maybe a bit excessively in this fight, but it's what helped him get to the end and see the final bell. So you have to salute him, just as Dave Allen did when the fight was over. Remember, going in, he had said, this guy could KO me inside of 3 rounds if I'm not ready for him. And it didn't look like that would happen at no point in the fight. but Allen just wasn't in the proper shape. And if you don't give yourself your best chance to win by being in proper condition, what else is one to expect from you? And so, Arslanbek comes away with a unanimous decision victory and puts himself in the sweepstakes for a future consideration against one of the top heavyweights in the division. It'll be an interesting situation because he's trying to box a little more. But what do you think? This is Stormy B-Man. Shout out to the mighty LDBC and Liberated Perspective, a third eye view of the world. For more content such as this, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Let me know your thoughts about this fight and battle between these two behemoth heavyweights and what should be next in store for these guys. Leave comments and let's discuss further. Peace to everyone out there, and everyone please remain safe.